Ladies and gentlemen, it is pro wrestling's giant personality, the height of independent wrestling, Mr. Larger Than Life, big time Ethan Higher, and you're watching the Final Count podcast.
This is Mega Mondo, and you're Mega listening and Mega watching the Final Count podcast. Yeah!
Welcome to the Final Count Spotlight. Here's your host, Ryan Mosley.
Hello, everybody. It is the Croc Rockin', Nickelback Poppin', Curls for All the Girls, the Terminator, Sam Beal, as seen on Impact Wrestling, and you are listening to the Final Count.
Hey everybody, Anthony Corelli here, formerly known as Santino Morella, and you are listening to the Final Count.
Hey, it's Eric Orris, voice of the Valley from OVW, and you're checking out the Final Count.
Citizens, this is Super Z, and you're watching the Final Count.
That is right. It is that time again. It is the Final Count Spotlight. And on this episode, I am joined by none other than the new Grindhouse Pro Wrestling Women's Champion. She is your best friend. She is your bestie and mine. She is none other than Allie Allbright, which I'll be bringing her on in just a few moments. But first of all, I want to thank all of you, the fans, for listening, for watching, whether you listen to us on Spotify and all of the other podcast platforms that we're on, or if you just watch us on YouTube, whether you follow us, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, formerly known as Twitter, on TikTok, all the good stuff, liking, sharing our post, all that good stuff, all of the follows and everything. We appreciate all of your support here at the Final Count, and hope that you're entertained and enjoy every interview in our spotlights and enjoy our weekly episodes. I just want to thank you, the fans, because we do this for you. And we do it because we enjoy it, but we do it for you as well. We thank you for all of your support, going and buying merch from us as well. And then coming and seeing us when we're at shows, coming and letting us know that you watch or listen to, and or both watch the Final Count, whether it's the spotlights or just the weekly episodes, weekly review shows. But we want to thank you for all of that support, no matter how you support us. But right now, I do want to also go ahead and thank one of our sponsors, our main sponsor here. We love all of our sponsors, but one of our sponsors is none other than collarandelbowbrand.com. Collar and Elbow. So use promo code FinalCountKY to save 10% at checkout. When you use that code, you're helping us, you're helping Collar and Elbow. But when you use Final Count KY, save 10% at checkout. Get that checkout. Get that, save that 10% and be helping us. Go get yourself some nice Collar and Elbow brand swag, nice t-shirts, great fitting shirts, I might add, some hoodies and hats and everything. Go check them out and let Al Snow and the guys over at Collar and Elbow know that the Final Count sent you. And with more on Collar and Elbow, I'm going to throw it to Al Snow. And then we'll be joined by Miss Allie Allbright, your bestie.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
There you go. Again, go. I use our code at cloneelbowbrand.com. Save yourself 10% at checkout. Without any further ado, please join me in welcoming our guest at this time, your bestie, the new Grindhouse Pro Wrestling Women's Champion, Miss Allie Allbright. How you doing, Allie?
Hi, besties. I am doing great. How are you doing, bestie? Thanks for having me on.
Doing pretty good, bestie. I'm very glad to have you on, and it's gonna be an exciting episode. Having you on, been wanting to have you on for a while, and we're finally getting it going. So,
Yeah, finally.
Yeah. So, real quick question before we jump into the interview, the wrestling part of the interview. So you're a Swiftie. We know this.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Any upcoming concerts for T Swift that you're gonna be going to?
No upcoming, but I actually just saw her 3 months. What is it? February? I saw her in November. So I just saw her again, but no upcoming, but hopefully, you never know with her. She's always dropping surprises, so hopefully I'll see her again soon. I love that woman to death.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
I had to ask that. There's actually, I didn't tell you this to you before, but there might be a question that might come up that might involve her a little bit later. I'm assuming you're going to answer this with her. I don't know though. We'll see.
Okay.
So, getting right into this, when did you decide to get into the pro wrestling business?
Oh my gosh. So, as you know, we've known each other for a long time, but I started watching wrestling along with my sister. We started watching when we were like 9 or 10 years old. So this is like 2008 maybe. And I always like wanted to be like Jeff Hardy. Like that was the first wrestler I said, wow, I want to be just like him. But I guess I didn't really like see myself as a wrestler yet because like at the time women weren't being given the same opportunities, and I wanted to be a wrestler, not just like objectified and like all that stuff that was going on. So I didn't see myself as it was like actually possible. But the second I actually decided like, oh, this is something I want to do, I want to be a wrestler, was when Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks came along. So probably about like 2015. It took a big gap, but she was the first wrestler that I was like, wow, I see so much of myself in her. So many similarities, like so many, like our dreams and our passions and always wanting this. And, but yeah, when I first saw her, I believed that I could actually do this like for the first time. And I held on to that dream for a long time because I didn't start training till 2021. So, again, another big gap there. But yeah, she was the first person I saw that I was like, wow, I want to be in this business. But yeah, just like a lot of personal stuff, between that big gap, like anxiety, and we'll get into probably my character and stuff like that. But I mean, that's real. That's me. Like my anxiety held me back for a long time. But I think it was really crucial to forming who Allie Allbright is today. So, but yeah, sorry, I'm rambling. But the first person I saw that made me want to wrestle was Mercedes, and that's when I really decided that I wanted to be in the business.
Nice. So Mercedes or Sasha Banks, yeah, I love that. Now, was she your main inspiration, or did you have anyone else that you like enjoyed watching growing up? And then also, is there anyone that you take inspiration like and kind of make what they do your own, in the ring?
Oh yeah, so I have a lot of inspirations. Again, like I kind of separate it by like time period, like that I would watch, and then some of them I loved then are still going today, so that's great too. But yeah, so like Jeff Hardy and Christian and Edge were my main like first ever like really favorites, and Mercedes and Bailey, they're like two of my biggest like right now, obviously, and I take inspiration from all of them. I love watching all of them. I think Mercedes is obvious, like with my move set and stuff. I take so much inspiration from her and Christian and Johnny Gargano. Um, oh, there's just so many great wrestlers out there, and I just love to watch everything that they all do. Like they could just do anything, and I would just pop. I would just, you know.
Just like love it.
And Jay White is another one. I love Jay
Yes.
White. Let's see. Yeah, there's so many. I'm probably forgetting so many, but there's so many great talents. And Mercedes Moné is mainly the main one, along with the Young Bucks, of course. Love you, besties. Um, yeah, but Mercedes Moné is probably my biggest inspiration in wrestling.
Okay, a lot of great inspirations right there. Like
Yeah.
you said, so many to even name. Now I know you were trained at Grindhouse Pro Wrestling, and were you trained with? Did you have your main training with Ronnie Roberts? Is that who you were trained by?
So it's funny because Ronnie moved to like around the Louisville area, I think, to be closer to Grindhouse, like maybe a year in with like when I was training. So I didn't originally start with Ronnie. I started with Truth Magnum of the Outrunners. He actually would come and run classes a lot, and along with Mitchell Huff.
Yes.
He was like one of the trainers. He's one of the trainers there too. But mainly it was Truth Magnum for about like a year. And then Turbo Floyd as well. But then about a year or so into my training, it then started being Ronnie Roberts, my main trainer. So, yeah, and also Billy Starks. I have to say that she's also one of my trainers, because there were so many times she was running class and at 15, 16 years old. And I'm just like, wow, I've learned so much from her. But yeah, so mainly the Outrunners, I give a lot of credit to them, and mainly Ronnie, for the last 3 years.
That's a great wealth of knowledge right there, just in those 4, and I'll include Billy Starks along with that. Well, 5 technically, because you got to include Mitch Huff. How can I forget Mitch Huff, another alumni of the podcast here, as well as Billy Starks? So I mean, 5 great trainers right there, and that's amazing to hear that Billy, at her age of that young age of 16, was even helping and teaching class and everything. And
oh yeah,
that's amazing.
I've learned so much from her, and being so much older than her, though, like it doesn't even matter. Like her experience in this business is just like already at her age.
Yes,
she's just such a superstar. I love her. She's killing it right now, as always, and I just love her. I have nothing but great things to say about her.
Definitely. What was that that initial training like?
Yeah, it was intense. I overdid it my first day. I wanted to, be involved, and I got, a little overworked, but my anxiety, like I said, like for a while I've had this like fear of just like almost everything, right? And like my anxiety always held me back from everything. But one thing that it never really held me back from was wanting to fulfill this dream once I like stepped into the arena for the first time, and once I was in the ring for the first time. Yeah, the initial training was great. I remember my first day. Truth Magnum actually taught me to lock up, and he taught me how to run the ropes. And he asked me, he's like, "Do you have boots?" And I'm like, "No." Because like it's my first day, like I just came to check things out, see if this is what I wanted to do. And he's like, "Okay, I think you should invest in some." And I'm like, "Okay." I was nervous because I didn't have any, but he still let me run the ropes, taught me to lock up, and I knew from that moment, like I was just so proud of myself. Like I was like, I belong here. This is something I'm gonna do. But the initial training was great. It was intense. It was a lot of me not really believing in my full abilities, though, because it took me a while to like just learn how to bump and trust myself to to bump, and kind of get over that fear that I had. I mean, it's natural. Like it's like an unnatural thing to do, to just bump, right? Like, so of course it was scary at first, but I mean, once I did it, I mean, I was obviously proud, and then you start leveling up and learning new stuff, and that's obviously what I wanted. So yeah, I mean, the initial training was great though. I learned so much from him, of course. And he always believed in me too, which I'm so thankful for him as well. He would always put me over and really believe in me when I didn't believe in myself. The biggest thing for me was I would always say sorry about everything. Like, sorry. Like, that's where a lot of my, character comes from. It's me. But he would always say, stop apologizing. And for everything. And I was like, sorry. And, yeah, I love him. I got to see them a few weeks ago too. So it was cool. But yeah, sorry, roundabout answer. Yeah, the initial training was great. It was everything I wanted too, and it was hard. It was intense. It was so much at once almost. But yeah, it was great.
I love that that you pushed through that. Even with someone as like myself, I can relate to the anxiety thing. Anxiety is something that even personally has held me back with different things. Along with other things, but I won't get into that. But I can relate as far as the anxiety goes, because with jobs, for instance, sometimes I have struggles having keeping a job. Sometimes just a little bit of breaking down the fourth wall here, because it's my anxiety gets the best of me with some things
Right.
sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's you just gotta persevere through it, and tell yourself that you can do it. And I'm so glad that you did.
Thanks.
And you're welcome. And the nerves, it's okay to be nervous. I've heard so many times, even through these interviews, if you're not nervous, you don't need to be in the business. If you don't have the nerves and the butterflies, I mean, what are you doing here?
Right.
Literally.
I've always thought of it as I'm so nervous because I care so much, and I
Yes.
want to be the best I can be. I care about this thing that I've put my heart and soul into.
Mhm.
So if I'm not nervous, what am I doing? What am I doing it for? So yeah,
Right.
yeah, definitely.
And so let's talk about your first match.
Okay.
Every person that I've ever had on the show, they typically have, some their first match is good, some their first match is interesting. They just get thrown into it. What was your first match like? I understand that you worked with Billy Starks in your first match. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
so I had my first match. It was at a birthday party show,
Mhm.
so I don't necessarily consider that my first match.
Yeah.
But my first match, official match, was against Billy at Grindhouse at the Rumble in 2023. Yeah, she wasn't supposed to be my opponent, and it didn't come together till that just hours before. So I issued an open challenge. Week maybe months or weeks before that or whatever, and Kayla Cassidy answered the open challenge, and she couldn't make it for whatever reason. I think she was sick or I don't know. But I actually didn't find out that Billy had answered the open challenge because I guess I was just too busy being nervous, getting ready for the day, getting all my stuff together, heading towards the arena. And one of my friends texted me and said, "You're wrestling Billy?" And I was like, "What?" and they're she sent me her tweet. She said she responded to Grindhouse saying "Oh, I heard she needs an opponent, this and that. I'll see you there," whatever she said. And yeah, my first match was against Billy. SPO refed. We love you, SPO.
Yes.
Love him. He always believed in me too. I love that. I love him so much. But yeah, my first match, it was actually so much better than I could have ever pictured a first match for me to go. I hit Billy with a Canadian Destroyer. It was all her idea. I had never done a Canadian Destroyer, but she trusted me so much and believed in me. And, that's something that I don't take very lightly, that, she would trust me to, and she would even come do that for me, to come. And she just got off a plane. I think she was doing Ring of Honor tapings in Orlando. What is it? Orlando or Tampa or Jackson? No, Jackie. I don't know. Somewhere in Florida.
Yeah.
And it actually went so much better than I could have ever imagined. And I think that's just a testament to how great she is and having a great partner, but also just the fact that I stepped up to, to her talent, and she really brought out the best in me too. And she gave me a black eye. She kicked my head off,
Oh no.
but it was all worth it. It was one of the best feelings I'd ever had, and very emotional afterwards. Got to hug my family after, and like it's just like it's something you'd always dream about, like having that first match. And I'm so glad it was against Billy, because she was there literally holding my hand. Like she walked in with me. I was like, "Can you meet me outside? I'm so nervous." When I first went my first day, and she's been there like every step of the way, before she's off doing real superstar things. But yeah, my first match, it couldn't have gone any better. It was such a great experience. I lost, but man, I love that match, and I would love to run it back sometime.
Definitely, like hopefully, somewhere sooner down the road, you'll get that match again.
I hope so.
The victory this time.
Yeah, that would be nice.
While we're talking about matches, if you could pick 3 matches that you've had thus far in your career, what matches would you pick as your favorite 3 matches?
So I would say that the one with Billy for my debut is definitely one of them, if not number one. It just really showed me that I can push myself beyond my limits and my abilities and what I'm comfortable with and uncomfortable with. And that really taught me a lot about myself. Another one would be probably this match I had a few months ago at Grindhouse against lovely Miss Larkin. It was Dixie Douglas was the special guest referee in that match, so I got screwed over there. But I still loved the match because Larkin and I have such great chemistry in the ring. She's crazy, but we have such great chemistry in the ring, and it was just us going back and forth, pushing each other to the limit, because we had already met in the ring so many times before that, but it had been months before that, so we had, we'd grown so much as both of us as performers, and so it was just a real back and forth, real great like fight, and we got to do a lot of things. Like I got to, bump on the floor for the first time, and like on the apron, and like all this fun stuff we got to do that I'd never done before. So that was really fun. I really loved that match. I really liked that one. And then number 3 would probably, this is hard. Probably, I really liked my match I had at Hooligan Championship Wrestling with Noelle Summit back in September, I think, as well. I think it was September. It was if you know Noelle Summit, she's like this dark, like crazy, kind of like creepy, like kind of character, and it's funny the visual that we had, just her and I standing across from each other in the ring, because it was like yin and yang, like bright and dark, and it was just a lot of fun playing off that character, because for so long that's like what I'd been kind of like struggling to find when refining my character, like how would I react to certain things in the ring, or like how would I incorporate that into my moves, or how would I incorporate my personality into things. And she really brought it out of me, it was so easy to have people like Larkin and Noelle, when they have these great characters that are so like out there, and then you can easily play off of that. So I think Billy, Larkin, and Noelle, those 3 I think were definitely my top 3 so far.
Definitely, I love that. And I love that you could. Those were kind of easy. I know it's a lot of matches, but it's kind of easy to think of. I like that. And I agree. You and Larkin definitely have great chemistry. We'll get to talking about you and Miss Larkin a little bit later. Lovely Miss Larkin a little bit later. But first of all, I want to talk about, how did you decide to now? I'm break the 4th wall down.
Okay.
I do know your name is actually Allie.
Yeah.
So, Allbright. How did you come up with the last name Allbright?
I don't know. It kind of just I don't know. It kind of just like, I don't mean to sound like corny, but it just kind of came to me. Like my character, I wanted to represent something, authentic and bright and real, and something that people can relate to and really gravitate towards, just like I had with all my favorites growing up. And I think being yourself is like the best way to like just shine. And I love the alliteration, 2 L's in Allie and Allbright. So I was like, oh, well, this is a perfect fit, and I'm not related to the other Allbrights, but yeah. But I don't know. It just kind of came to me. I think it kind of just stuck. I mean, I liked it, and I was like, well, that's it. That's what I'm doing.
I mean, I like it. I like like you said, the 2 L's in both names work, and so and it does. It's Allie Allbright. It has a ring to it. It really does.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Now here's where talk about Taylor Swift here a little bit.
All right, I'm ready. I could talk all day long.
My bad.
Oh no,
we'll go back a little bit.
I'll get excited. I'll be waiting for that.
How would you describe your in-ring style?
Oh, my in-ring style. I think fundamentally there's like a lot of strikes and that kind of like thing, but I think I just kind of, it's like a mixed bag of like just drawing from all those inspirations I talked about earlier. Like it could be Mercedes inspirational, like lucha kind of like arm drag things, or it could be the Young Bucks, BTE trigger, or the best TE trigger, I say. Just a lot of different things. I just draw from so many inspirations that it's just like kind of this big bestie mixed bag. And I'm always wanting to kind of like think outside the box of like what my style is. I'm always thinking of new things, and always wanting to up my game as everyone else around me is upping their game. So yeah, I think it's just there's a lot of fundamentally like lucha inspirations. I'm no high flyer by any means, but like there's little inspiration from there, and like a lot of strikes and that kind of thing. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I can definitely see the striker in you for sure.
Yeah.
So really quickly, how would you describe your character?
So Allie Allbright, my character, I think is just an extension of who I am. I mean, you hear all the time Triple H and everyone saying like characters are just yourself turned up, 100 or 10 times 10 or whatever. And Allie Allbright, I think my character is someone who turned all of this fear and anxiety into something positive. When I step into the ring, I am comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's when I shine the brightest, because the passion I have for this is so much bigger than the fear that I have, for being afraid of failure or being afraid of being made fun of or like whatever. That doesn't matter anymore. Like once I step into that ring, I am the most powerful person I can be, and I shine the brightest. So that's basically who Allie Allbright is. And I think authenticity is like the most important thing for me, but also for like really anybody in any profession too. And I think that's what has always worked for me. So that's why I've always stuck with.
I love that answer. I love it.
Thanks. Was that a good answer? Okay.
It actually goes with your name because, like you said, you step in the ring and you shine the brightest, all bright. It works. I love it.
Thanks.
I love it. So if you could have any music artist create you a theme entrance, who would it be?
I thought, is this what you thought the Taylor in question would be?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I actually so Taylor would obviously be the number one choice, but I also have 2 other answers that I've thought about before.
Mm-hmm.
There's this band called Chase Atlantic. They're Australian, but they're so good, and I think the vibes are so immaculate. They're kind of darker tones, but at the same time, I feel like they would make me a great theme. So if you're all watching, if y'all are listening, but then my other answer would be Jack Harlow. I love Jack Harlow. And being a fellow Louisville Kentuckian like Jack, you make me a song. But Taylor Swift is obviously the number one answer. Maybe she'll be performing it for me at WrestleMania one day. Who knows? That's the dream. That's the goal. But
That would be so cool.
that would be something, wouldn't it? That would be something.
That would, or even Jack Harlow. I mean,
right? Yeah, Jack Harlow. Yeah. So Taylor, Jack Harlow, and Chase Atlantic. Those would be my three. No particular order. I love you all. But yeah, definitely one of those.
Love it, love it. How did you decide to use your bestie as your moniker?
It's funny because like I don't know really how it happened. Like it's one of those things that just happened naturally that like I didn't even think about it. It just became my moniker. Like I always call people bestie. Like, hey bestie, like just out of habit. Like for a long time I would. And it just stuck. Like when I would just, like when you get nervous, a little antic tick, like little thingies, like it just stuck. Like, oh, hey, bestie. And it's funny because like everyone I train with don't even call me really Allie anymore. It's just bestie, But I don't. It's so funny how like those natural things are all the things that get so over that you don't think about that just happen. And I think that's definitely one of those. It just happened. I don't know, really. Honestly, I don't know. But it just caught on. So I'm like, oh, your bestie, it works. It's like something so familiar and like relatable to anybody, like, oh, I'm your bestie. I could be your friend, I'm your bestie. Hey,
Definitely. I love that because like it also reminds me of like Bailey, like early WWE Bailey, NXT Bailey, Hugger Bailey. I love it. I love it.
Sure.
It is catchy. It catches on.
Yeah, it's easy, simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like it's like the like you said, it's the easiest things that catch on.
Mm-hmm.
Like the yes, Daniel Bryan, yes, or the yeet even like
or the
or what and like all these just not generic, but like easy to think of phrases or whatever you want to call it, are something that's going to help you get over and it can work organically,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Can you talk about working with Thunder Kitty?
Yes, I can. I love Thunder Kitty. I remember actually seeing her for the first time. Like I had known about her, but years and years ago, I saw her wrestle Billy Starks actually. And working with her, I've learned so much from her because when she's been in the business so long, and she's actually helped me out, like getting bookings and like at BMFX up in Indiana. But yeah, I have learned so much from her. She's really easy, like going. She's not hard on you. I mean, she could be hard on you when to help you, and it's just like productive like criticism. And but yeah, I've learned so much from her. We've wrestled quite a handful of times now, and all the matches have been so fun and so different. And I think I've come so far from when I wrestled her for the first time at no, it's actually 2023. I'd come so far. We were like in this like tag angle at Grindhouse, but yeah, I'd come so far, and it's really encouraging to see like her trust in me throughout all of that. I mean, she can be tough on you, like I said, but like it just means that she cares and she like wants to help out, and I really appreciate that. Especially as a woman in the business who has been in the business for quite a while. So, yeah, I love working with Kitty. She's great.
Definitely. And then we've talked about Larkin already, but let's talk a little bit more. Can you talk about working a little bit more with Miss lovely Miss Larkin, and your mini matches together with her? And I do have a little bit of advice for you.
Okay.
I don't know what her thing is with trunks. But stay away from trunks when you're around her.
Please. She's not here, is she? Is she in my walls? Like, what's going on?
I think you're good right now.
Okay. Yeah. Larkin is something else. She we had our first match together when she was like less than probably a handful of matches in her career. She came to Grindhouse and forgot what I was supposed to have a different match, but again, everything changes all the time, last minute. But yeah, we still put on a great match, and I was still brand new. It was my first like couple months actually working, and but the growth that we've both had since then is actually just crazy because she's obviously put in so much work, and her character is just insane, and she's really brought a lot of my character out of me because, like I said earlier, with like Noelle and her, it's so easy to play off of like when you have such a big personality across from you, and she just makes me laugh, and she's just actually insane, which I say in the best like loving way. Like her character is like truly one of a kind, and yeah, we've had so many great memories together. Like we got into a car accident together. She was driving. God love her. It wasn't her fault. But we're just calling our match on the side of the highway. I love working with her, and she's doing great things, and she will continue to do great things. She's improved so much because she cares so much about wrestling and wanting to be a better wrestler all the time. And every match we've had, it just keeps leveling up. We have a lot of fun together, and like you said, the trunk. I'm going to definitely try to stay away from the trunk, unless she's playing Taylor Swift in the car, or I don't know, something else. If she has something in there for me that I want, but I'm going to try to stay away. I'm going to try to keep my distance. But I haven't been in the trunk in quite a while. I think Halloween, that was truly trunk or treat.
Yeah.
So I think I'm okay right now. Knock on wood somewhere. I've been avoiding the trunk for a little bit, so yeah. I love Larkin. She's great.
Yes, she is, and I agree. She definitely brings out the best in you, and you bring out the best in her. It works both ways. I definitely believe that, and I've like I said, I've enjoyed. I think I've commented on some of the videos, even with the promos and everything that you all have had together. I'm like, this is so good. This stuff is so good. I'm like, oh my goodness. Now, I don't know if you have worked as a heel yet, but do you prefer to work as a babyface or a heel?
Oh yeah, I definitely prefer babyface. I think it just something feels natural. Like it just feels so much natural. But at the same time, like I in training like matches, I have worked heel, and a lot of people say that it's wow, like it's pretty it's pretty natural. I'm so like I'm very like nice, easygoing. I don't really. It takes a lot to get me like really upset, but being heel is pretty fun. Not something I would want to be like my main like staple kind of like focus, but I definitely prefer babyface for sure.
Definitely. I get that for sure. I think that both would be fun. I think the hill would really be fun. But who can go against being loved by fans and signing autographs like crazy, and who can come taking pictures with kids and everyone. That's really what it's all about, and putting smiles on people's faces. I mean, every heels and baby faces alike do that, but I mean, it's especially the baby face really puts that smile, because you have that interaction, that one-on-one interaction with people at the merch table and whatnot. And so that's really, yeah, I agree. Being a baby face, I could see why you would say baby face, and because it is much easier than, maybe that's not the personality to be a heel,
Right.
And
But
so,
the greatest thing about like being a heel or babyface, you can be anything you want to be like in wrestling, and it doesn't have to always be you, but like who you really are. But for me, it just comes so naturally to be a babyface, and it's hard when I have all these bright colors, and it's like, oh, I'm always hugging people, and like I'm Allie, like I'm Bestie, like hey Bestie, you're my friend, so like that means like oh I like you, oh I want to like you.
Exactly. Now, can you talk about working with Lexi Green?
Oh yeah, sure. Lexi, we had met quite a few years ago, but we actually only had our first match last summer. I think last summer. We've actually wrestled already a handful of times together. She's great. I love that she keeps upping her game too, and her character, and her promos are great. I love all of her like witchy, spooky things. But yeah, I've learned so much from her too. I remember we wrestled 2 nights in a row one time, and she could have easily just been like, "Hey, we're doing the same thing as yesterday." Like it's a different city, probably like all different crowd, and we both agreed, we were like, I just want to, we could take certain elements, but we just called a new match, and we've had matches that were better than others, but I've learned so much from her because she's a vet as well, and yeah, she's taught me a lot too about slowing down and pacing and a lot of stuff and psychology stuff. And I love her. I love working with her. I'm actually working with her at Gen Next Pro Wrestling in March. I think I'm working her. So another one will be coming. So
definitely,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, she's like you said, she's a vet and someone that you can definitely learn from as well. And I agree with you on her dark character, her witchy character right now that she's got going on.
Yeah,
I love it. I love
cool.
it.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love her gear too, by the way.
Oh yeah, she just got some new gear like kind of recently, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really fits into the whole new like witchy vibes, and she's killing it too. Yeah, she's killing it too.
She is. She is.
Yeah.
Who have been some of your favorite people, maybe that we haven't mentioned yet or talked about yet, to work matches with thus far?
Yeah. So I got to work Rachel Armstrong in a triple threat match. It was actually with Thunder Kitty as well, and I would love to wrestle her one-on-one. But we'd also make a really fun tag team, I think. But yeah, I love working Rachel. She's great. She's so talented. Ari Alexander would be another one. I really loved working her, and I worked her like really early into my career, so I would really like to run that back sometime. I love working with Tegan Rose. We had some great matches. We've only wrestled each other a few times, but boy, have they been bangers. That would have been on my top 3, but I wanted to include Noelle on there because I really liked the character element that had. But this had character too, but you know what I mean.
Right.
But yeah, there's just so many talented people I've been in the ring with. I don't want to purposely forget anyone, but yeah, I love a lot of everyone I've been in the ring with has been great. But yeah, those are definitely some that stick out to me.
Definitely. What are some promotions that you have worked for thus far, and what new promotions would you like to work with in 2025?
Yeah. So I've worked New Era. I've worked Hooligan Championship Wrestling. I've worked TCW, Ascend Pro Wrestling up in Northern Ohio, or not Northern Ohio, Cincinnati, Northern kind of Kentucky, I guess. I've worked obviously Grindhouse. Let's see, I'm sure I'm forgetting a ton. BMFX in Indiana. It's Lafayette, I think. Indiana. Yeah, something. I've worked Strictly Insane. I've worked Gen Next before. Yeah, I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch, but I've been pretty all over. Blessed to do that. Oh, PWA, yeah, Pro Wrestling Alliance. Yeah, there's been a lot. But I definitely want to get out there this year, 2025. There's so many different promotions. I would love to work Dreamwave in Chicago. They've been putting on such great all-women shows. I'm sure I'm forgetting like a ton, but there's just so many great promotions out there that I'm wanting to get to. And new states, that's a goal this year. Just a bunch of new states, new promotions. Yeah, just everywhere.
Is there
Everywhere.
any states on your mind?
Is there any what?
Any states on your mind particularly?
No, not particular. I mean, I'm open to whatever. I have a date scheduled for a new state. It's not announced yet, but within the next month or so, I'll actually already be there. So I don't know when they're going to announce it, but yeah. So already checking that off the 2025 bucket list, and yeah, exciting.
Nice. I love it. Love to
Yeah.
hear it. Love to hear that you're getting out, and spreading your wings and, kind of getting to other places, getting to multiple promotions, and, getting out of the kind of comfort zone of Grindhouse or, any of the kind of local promotions,
Yeah.
I love it. So you just recently, speaking of Grindhouse, you just recently, as I mentioned at the top of the show, became at Rumble 2025 became the new Grindhouse Pro Wrestling Women's Champion.
I did.
What'd that feel like for you? What'd that moment feel like?
That moment, it just was. It felt like everything that I had worked for, and all of the literal blood, sweat, and tears that had gone on within the last couple of years. It just felt like a culmination of just everything I'd worked so hard for. It finally felt like I was validated. I mean, I had before that match, I had only won, I think, like 2 matches at Grindhouse. Within like the last 2 years, and that doesn't necessarily matter to me, but at the same time, it really felt good to be trusted as this role as champion, because now I understand that this is when like that hard work actually starts. It's going to take a lot to maintain at the top. But yeah, that moment, you always picture what that would be like, and it was like I expected, but at the same time, it was just so much more. It was just that validation that I think I needed, and yeah, it was one of the best feelings ever. Just like my reaction to when I had my first match with Billy, it was very emotional, but very rewarding. But yeah, I'm champion, yay! And it's my first title, so having my first championship at my homegrown like promotion, I think that just means so much more too, and yeah, very rewarding.
Definitely, and like I'm sure it was so cool in the moment, just to be like holding the title for the first time and just being like, oh my goodness, I'm a champion, letting it all sink in, taking in the reaction from the crowd and everything.
Yeah, and we got a new title, like the actual belt, like it was brand new, like because we used to have the women's title, but it was different or whatever. But we actually, when we had this title, I hadn't even seen it like at all. Like I think they'd had it for a little while, in the works and stuff, but I hadn't seen it at all. And they took it out. The ref took it out to the ring, and I kind of got a glimpse of it. And that was the first time I'd really seen it. And I was like, wow. I was like, that's real. And I know that thing about, don't touch it until like, you win it because it's bad luck or whatever. So I didn't touch it. I just looked at it. I said, that's going to be mine. I deserve it. I earned it. And I'm a champion.
I love it. It's like, you as a fan, you grow up, you watch wrestling, you're like, I'm going to be in WWE someday. Or maybe you're watching TNA, because there's people that are like, I don't want to be in WWE, but I want to be in TNA. Or maybe if you're growing up now, you're like, I want to be in AEW. You think about that, and you think about like, you're as a kid or growing up, you probably think, oh, you're just going to automatically start in WWE or TNA, what have you. But to win a championship on the indies like this, like it's like, wow, I might not be at WWE right now, but I'm on my way there.
But it feels like I am.
It feels like I am. Yeah. And so like that's so cool because like it's like, oh my goodness, Cody Rhodes is holding the title now, and I'm holding the title now too. Like So
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
Love it.
That's how I feel definitely with Mercedes. I mean, look how many she's got. But
Yes.
I actually told her today. I told her I won my first title last week, and she said congratulations, and she said how beautiful that was. And I don't know. I've talked about it a lot before, but I've been updating her on my journey for many years. Before I started, when I told her I said I'm going to start next year, but I had no plan. But I told her I wanted to start. That was years ago, and man, we both come a long way, I think. But yeah, it's just wow. That's exactly how I looked at it. Like she's holding a title, I'm holding a title now. Like we're both champions. That's crazy.
Right. And at the same time, it's so cool. So cool.
Yeah.
If you could make a gimmick match to be your signature match, what would it consist of? What would the rules be? And what would the name of your match be?
Okay, this is hard. I'm trying to think. I had an idea for a prior thing that didn't really ever happen, but it could happen. So I'm debuting the idea here. A Bestie rules match, but I'm trying to still think of what the rules would be. Like I would picture. Okay, CM Punk stole my idea. Hear me out. For a long time, I had pictured. You know how I wear the Bestie bracelets and everything. Um,
Yes.
I love you, CM Punk. Don't come for me. I love you. But for a long time, I had thought like it'd be cool, like in a non-death match, like to have like instead of thumbtacks in a bag, it would just be like Bestie beads and like stuff like that, and like have like squishmallows or something, or like pillow, something like not at all like non-death match. But I think I'd want to do something like those little like kind of hints of my gimmick, like in the Bestie rules match, you can only use like these certain things. I don't really know like how the rules would go and all that. Um, It'd probably be something Taylor Swift related. It'd probably be something so ridiculous, like you have to name all of her albums to win, or something. I don't know. Or you have to name what was her third studio album? What day was it released? Like I don't know, something ridiculous. Like I'm trying to think like what rules and.
What about like sing a Taylor Swift song?
Yeah, you have to get every word. Yeah, you have to get everything right. Like throughout the whole match, you have to like sing, or you can only talk like using a promo or like a
Taylor Swift promo.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I've thought I'm going to do that. Like all my promos, I have to just if I just sat here and my promo was just a bunch of Taylor Swift lyrics, it would work. It would work. And at first, you might not know I'm saying it, but you'll be like, wait a minute.
Right.
Like I don't know. I think Bestie rules match. I don't know. This is a hard question. Definitely the Bestie beads. Something involving Taylor Swift and Squishmallows. Yeah.
I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's your rules match. I love it.
Yeah, Bestie rules.
I think somebody needs to make that happen somewhere.
Right? Ronnie Roberts. Hello.
Yes, make it happen, Ronnie.
Make it
Please.
happen.
If you could pick or have any dream match with any wrestler, man or woman, dead or alive, past, present, future, who would your dream match opponent be?
Mercedes Moné is obviously number one. That's the dream match. That's everything that I would ever want and ever ask for, and never ask for anything ever again. But yeah, I also another one is Alex Zane, fellow Kentuckian, Taco Bell King. He has really been influential in my career as well. I call him my guardian angel of wrestling because he is the one that literally pushed me to start. And when I would ask him, it was back when he was in NXT, like he would still take the time to give me advice and call me and help me decide, like, whether I wanted to do Grindhouse or other options in the area. Like he just helped me so much. He literally guided me and literally stayed on the phone with me. He's like, make sure you message Billy right now. Ask her when you can come to a, session. Find out how you can actually start, because he knew like I wanted this so badly. And yeah, Guardian Angel, definitely. Alex Zane would be one. Let's see. There's just so many great women out there right now. Zeta Steele, Alexis Littlefoot. So, there's so many. Obviously, like a lot of like Dakota Kai and like a lot of WWE people as well that I would love. That would be a dream. JC Jane. I love JC Jane.
Yes.
Yeah, but Mercedes that's the first thing that pops in my head is Mercedes.
Where would you want the match to happen at?
Where would I want it to happen at?
Yes. WrestleMania?
I don't know. That's so hard. I love that she's free. I love that she's free doing her authentic self right now,
Right.
outside of there. But I mean, that's always the dream for anybody, right? To be at a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So either WrestleMania or I don't know. What if a few years from now there's a bigger spectacle? We never know.
All in, all out.
Anywhere. I would take anything. I would do it in front of 4 people.
There you go. I mean,
yeah, if I could, but yeah.
Well, I definitely.
Yeah, I mean, WrestleMania would be a great. Obviously, that's the dream, right? Yeah, go ahead.
I definitely wish that happens for you. That match pans out for you at some point. I'm sure it will. I'm sure just putting in the work and everything, you're gonna get there. And
manifesting.
Yes, you're gonna get there. It's gonna happen. And so all those matches, I hope that all those matches come to fruition for you.
Thank you.
And just that all of your dreams come true in the wrestling business. Speaking of dreams, what are your goals within the next 5 years in the wrestling business?
I mean, obviously the best one. I know it's cheesy to say, but I just want to be the best wrestler that I can possibly be. I'm constantly always watching as a rabid fan myself. Like I'm always watching everything, wanting to always be more and be better, but also just in the next 5 years, I would love. I mean, of course, the goal. I would love to be signed. I would love to be getting in the ring with some of my dream opponents. I would love to be learning from new people, wrestling new people, going to debuting in different states. Like I said earlier, I would have told you one of my goals was to win a title, but within the first month of the year, I got to check that off the bucket list. That was awesome. But yeah, I mean, get signed. Like I said, that would probably be one of the big goals. Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest goals I can think of. Yeah.
Definitely. Wish all those goals come to fruition for you as well. And I'm sure that they will. And as far as right now goes, any upcoming shows you would like to promote?
Yeah, so let's see. I have Bullpen Pro Wrestling coming up in New Albany, Indiana, I believe. New Albany. Yeah. February 15th.
Yes.
I can't wait to step in the ring with some brand new women I have never faced before in a gauntlet match. That'll be really fun. I have Hooligan Championship Wrestling is running the biggest, I think, all women show in Indiana history, I believe, in May. It's either May, I think it's May 11th. May 10th or 11th, I'm sorry. But that show too. Let's see, Grindhouse every last Sunday of the month. Of course, we have so much stuff going on there. Pack houses every month. Such great matches, great shows. We've been just killing it lately. I have Generation Next Pro Wrestling. I think it's in Paris, Kentucky. March 1st. Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember everything. But yeah. A lot of great stuff coming up. I'm sure that'll be announced soon, like some new states I was talking about earlier. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I definitely encourage all the fans out there watching and listening to get out to these shows, support Allie Allbright, and support your bestie, Allie Allbright, at all these shows that she's going to be at. And then also, just spend your hard-earned money and just go and enjoy some great independent wrestling. Support these men and women that put their bodies on the line for your entertainment, for our entertainment, and just go and enjoy some great indie wrestling. And go get yourself some Allie Allbright merch as well while you're at these shows. Speaking of the Bullpen Pro Wrestling Show on the 15th, we will be there as well.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
That will be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great show.
Oh yes, definitely should be a great show for sure. And looking forward to seeing you there, as well as all the fans to come out there and catch Bullpen Pro Wrestling. And then, how can fans find you on social media?
Yeah, so on Twitter or X, whatever they're calling it now. I still say Twitter. It's at Allie Wrestles, so it's just ALLIE and Wrestles. On Instagram, it's _ Allie, ALLIE, Stagram, like Instagram. Sorry, it's difficult. I should probably change it. But Allie's-tagram. You can find me at Pro Wrestling Tees. I have a brand new design out right now too. So I have a couple different shirt options if you want to dabble. At prowrestlingtees.com, just Allie Allbright. Yeah, I think that's it. You can find me on YouTube, just Allie Allbright. Post some matches and some highlights and stuff like that on there. Am I missing any big ones? No, I'm missing.
Are you on TikTok?
Yeah. There's a lot of Taylor Swift stuff and Travis Kelce stuff on there, but also wrestling stuff. If you all want to follow me, it's Allie 391, I believe, or Allie C. This is embarrassing. Let me check.
Hey, that's like that for me too.
Allie C 313 is if anyone wants to see those kind of fun things. But yeah, TikTok, and then I'm on Patreon too. I think it's just Allie Allbright. I don't know how that works if you send out a link or whatever, but I like to it's free if you want. It's free. I like to post just like little articles, kind of like, like one time I did post like my top 5 matches of last year. And I post, when new matches are uploaded or merch or whatever like that. So, yeah, that's fun too. So I'm on Patreon, if you want. But yeah, those are the plugs.
All right. Well, I definitely encourage all the fans to go out and check your follow you on social media, and fans go follow Allie Allbright on all of her social media accounts, and you can check out when she's going to be at different shows, when she's going to be near you, and just go follow her journey and her career in the wrestling business, and also her great Taylor Swift stuff on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure on Instagram as well, as I follow her too on her Instagram as well and everything. And go check all that out, and also go to Pro Wrestling Tees and get some Allie Allbright merch as well. And then one last question, Allie. How can promoters contact you for their next show?
That is a great question, Bestie. You can contact me probably through Facebook, Allie Allbright, or better, my email is allywrestles@gmail.com. But yeah, you can always message me on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. Facebook was, I think, a plug I forgot, but it's just Allie Allbright. You can find me. But yeah, email, DM, whatever.
Definitely. Promoters, go and book Allie Allbright for your next show. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. And hey, she's my bestie. She's your bestie, Allie Allbright. And Allie, it's been great to have you, bestie, on the show.
Thank you so much, Bestie. It's been fun. I know I ramble. It's the anxiety in me, but I love wrestling. I love talking about things that I'm passionate about. And yeah, it's been so much fun. I'll see you soon, I'm sure, at the Bullpen Show.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, and you're welcome to come back anytime.
Okay, I'll hold you to it. I'll be here every week. I'll be on here ready. I'll say, "Hey, besties, it's me." I'll be ready.
Hey, I'm down for that. I'm gonna come on. As I say every week, fans, we will see you down the road.
1, 2.